Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tensions between the Logan sisters had been boiling for months amid the sun-drenched hills of Los Angeles, where the fashion industry throbbed with ambition and the air smelled of freshly cut flowers from Forrester Creations' most recent runway preparations. Love, family, and the glittering Forrester empire were the cornerstones of the life of Brooke Logan Forrester, the timeless symbol of passion and tenacity. Once happy to remain in the background, her sister Katie Logan Spencer had now boldly entered the limelight, shocking everyone. What had started out as a peaceful declaration of independence had turned into a full-fledged family conflict, and Brooke was completely horrified by Katie's most recent action. Katie's choice to start her own fashion house was the root of it all. Katie had grown weary of being the dependable one after years of helping others, raising her son Will, negotiating turbulent relationships with Bill Spencer, and seeing her sisters take center stage. She desired something that belonged to her. Katie titled her business simply Logan, drawing on her strong ties to the Logan family's heritage. To her, it seemed like a logical extension of who she was, a way to respect their common past while forging ahead. She envisioned a brand that appealed to women who had been disregarded, much as she thought she had been for a very long time, by fusing traditional elegance with contemporary empowerment. Brooke, however, had a different perspective. For her, the Logan name was more than just a last name. It was associated with Forrester Creations, the business that had shaped their family's success for many years. Alongside Ridge Forrester, Brooke had battled valiantly to maintain the company's success despite scandals, takeovers, and periods of lack of innovation. Brooke reacted instantly and viscerally when she learned that Katie planned to use Logan for her rival label. Her voice trembled with a mixture of rage and disbelief as she addressed her sister in the Forrester showroom. "Katie, how could you? The Logan name belongs to our history here, at Forrester. You're not just starting a business, you're trying to steal our legacy." Katie refused to back down, her eyes unwavering in spite of the anguish behind them. She had expected resistance, but not the intensity of Brooke's rage. "This isn't about stealing from you, Brooke. This is about me finally having something of my own. You've had Ridge. You've had the spotlight. You've even had Bill in ways that broke my heart more times than I can count. Can I have this one thing without it being a betrayal?" Donna Logan attempted in vain to mediate the argument, which continued late into the night. The affairs, heartbreaks, and moments when Katie felt like the overlooked middle sister due to Brooke's decisions all resurfaced. As the weeks went by, Katie persisted. She got ready for her first collection with Bill's financial support and a small group of devoted designers. Although there were rumors in the industry that she might steal talent from Forrester, Katie maintained that her course was morally right. Inspired by the tenacity of the Logan women themselves, she concentrated on new faces and creative textiles. However, the tension between sisters persisted. Brooke, on the other hand, saw Katie's endeavor as a direct challenge and mobilized Ridge and the Forrester inner circle. "She's using our name to launch herself," Brooke said Ridge during dinner at their large house one evening. The startling action that genuinely horrified Brooke occurred on a clear Monday morning in April. "It's not just business. It's personal. After everything we've been through as a family, this feels like a slap in the face." Katie took the deliberate choice to grow her team after discreetly forming partnerships. She made contact with Hope Logan, Brooke's daughter, and Deke, a bright young designer who had been feeling neglected at Forrester Creations. Ever the idealist torn between her own aspirations and her mother's world, Hope had become irritated with the ongoing partiality towards Steffi and the Forrester heirs. Katie recognized an opportunity to give Hope a chance to shine in a setting that honored the Logan side of her family, rather than to steal out of resentment. Katie presented her vision during a private meeting at a posh cafe with a view of the Pacific. Hope hesitated, her devotion to her mother at odds with the thrill of independence. "Hope, you've always been more Logan than Forrester in spirit. Your designs have heart, empathy. At Logan, you wouldn't be in anyone's shadow. Come join me. Bring Deke too. He has fresh ideas that could redefine us." However, The idea of producing without the burden of familial expectations was alluring. The seed was sown even though she didn't commit right away. Brooke was shocked to learn about the outreach from a mutual contact in the industry. She barged into Katie's makeshift office, a modern area in a former warehouse that was humming with launch preparations. With trembling hands and frenzied gestures, Brooke's voice reverberated off the walls. "Recruiting my own daughter? Katie, this is low, even for you. Hope is my child. She's part of Forrester. How dare you try to turn her against her family like this?" It was no longer just about business. The betrayal was profound. It seemed as though Katie was tearing apart the very foundation of their sisterhood, dragging hope into a rival camp and, in her own way, shattering the Logan unity Brooke had always defended. Katie's heart was racing, but she didn't panic. She had repeatedly practiced this moment in her head. "Brooke, I'm not turning anyone against anyone. Hope is a grown woman with her own dreams. If she chooses to explore opportunities here, that's her decision. You've spent years telling her to find her voice. Well, maybe my company gives her that without the Forrester politics. And Deke? He's talented and underutilized. Why shouldn't he have a chance to grow?" She paused, her expression softening slightly. "This rivalry you're fueling, it's hurting all of us. But I won't apologize for wanting success on my terms." As the argument intensified, Brooke accused Katie of abusing their shared ancestry and using the Logan name as a weapon to undermine Forrester's authority. "You've always resented me," Brooke shot back, trying not to cry. "For the men, for the attention, for the life I've lived. But this? Trying to build your empire on my daughter's back? It's appalling. I never thought you'd stoop so low." Unspoken memories of their failed romantic relationships, their laughter at family get-togethers, and the hurt they felt when Bill's feelings changed between them filled the room. Once, their vulnerable link was strengthened by Katie's brother Storm's heart transplant, but now it felt like a faraway echo. Whispers circulated across the fashion industry outside the office. Later that afternoon, Donna paid Brooke a visit at the Forrester estate in an attempt to mend the rift. Brooke shook her head and paced the lavish living room with its expansive city views. "Sis, Katie's not trying to destroy us. She's finally standing up after years of playing second fiddle. Remember how we all started? Scrappy Logans against the world. Maybe this competition will make everyone stronger." As the day went on, Hope found herself divided. Stronger? Or torn apart? "Hope is wavering, Katie. If she joins Logan, what does that say about our family?" Ridge is furious too. He sees it as a direct attack on everything we've built. Weighing the advantages and disadvantages, she confided in her intermittent partner, Liam Spencer. Liam listened quietly, aware of the volatile past between the Logan sisters. "Mom sees it as betrayal, but Aunt Katie's offering me creative freedom. At Forrester, I'm always compared to Steffi or judged by Ridge's standards. Logan feels pure." Will Spencer, Katie's son, noticed the widening gap and gently confronted his mother. Katie gave him a firm hug and said, "Mom, is this worth losing Aunt Brooke over? She's family." The industry buzz grew. Family means supporting each other's growth, Will. "I love your aunt, but I can't keep shrinking myself." Insiders and fashion bloggers conjectured if Katie's Logan line would be as glamorous as Forrester's or fail due to sisterly sabotage. Determined not to accept the move, Brooke started working with Ridge on a plan. Although Katie's team had done their research and made sure the name was available in important categories, they still talked about legal aspects of the trademark. Ever the defender of his empire, Ridge proposed a daring countermeasure. To lessen the impact, Forrester's own Logan-inspired capsule collection should be accelerated. "We can't let her define what Logan means," he said, drawing Brooke closer. But the personal sting stayed in Brooke's thoughts. A flurry of feelings, including hurt, rage, and yearning for simpler times when the sisters banded together against outsiders, could not be adequately described by the word appalled. Unfazed, Katie continued working on mood boards and fittings. She transformed the strong prints that formerly characterized Brooke's early modeling days into something new and unreserved, while also subtly paying homage to their mother's tenacity. It was a necessity-driven tactic, not an act of malice, to recruit Hope and Deke. Hope added emotional nuance, and Deke contributed technical know-how in sustainable textiles. Logan might make a big statement and draw attention from the fashion industry if they joined. In the evening, Brooke sat by herself on her balcony with an unopened glass of wine by her side as the sun began to set over the Hollywood Hills. She kept thinking about the startling recruitment attempt. How did it get to this point? Sisters who had experienced so much together, joys with their kids, heartaches with Bill, and the unbreakable Logan bond, were now separated by ambition. Pride prevented her from calling Katie to demand a truce when she picked up her phone. She muttered, "This move changes everything," into the void. "If Hope walks away, I'll never forgive it." However, a glimmer of admiration flickered across my mind. Katie had always been the resilient, heart-healthy survivor. Her audacity now reflected the same fire that Brooke had represented for many years. The horrified response might have concealed a more profound reality. The Logan sisters were more alike than either of them wanted to acknowledge. There were rumors of a possible ceasefire or full-scale conflict as Katie's collection previews circulated in private showings. The fashion elite watched anxiously as Hope's decision loomed large and Deke's involvement added fuel. Small gestures in the days that followed suggested intricacy. At a neutral meal that Donna planned, awkward silences gave way to shared laughter over fond recollections. However, the fundamental problem persisted. Katie's decision to pair Logan with possible Forrester defectors went against Brooke's fundamental character. Brooke stated, "You're my sister," in a heated phone conversation. Everyone was affected by Katie's quiet but strong response. "But right now, it feels like you're my rival. I've been your supporter for years, Brooke. Now, it's my turn to shine. If that appalls you, maybe it's time we both grew up." Bill and Ridge disagreed about Will and RJ's common business interests. Even Eric Forrester watched the scene with a heavy heart, remembering the Logan girls' arrival years before, as Forrester exchanged heated words at a family gathering. Caught in the crossfire, Hope met with Deke to talk about alternatives. Their discussion was tinged with guilt and creative exhilaration. "Your mom is a legend," Deke remarked. Brooke's horrified expression turned into resolve as she said, "But Katie's vision is inspiring too. We could do something real here." While secretly wondering if her response was motivated by fear of becoming irrelevant, of seeing Katie thrive on her own, she promised to defend Forrester. Reflections late at night brought back memories of their early tribulations in Los Angeles, their modeling jobs, and the heartbreaks that shaped them. Not only was Katie's startling hiring a commercial maneuver, but it also signaled that the silent sister had discovered her voice. The sisters circled each other cautiously as the week went on. A fortuitous meeting at a charity function compelled civility, but underlying tensions simmered. Brooke felt a twinge as she observed Katie interacting with possible investors while maintaining her composure. Yes, I was horrified, but I was also uneasy about the mirror that Katie held up. Once unified under Forrester, the Logan heritage is now divided into conflicting ideologies. Hope's final decision would determine a lot, but for the time being, the relocation had dashed hopes of unbreakable sisterhood. Katie's audacious move had permanently changed the family dynamic in the world of the bold and the beautiful, where love and treachery entwined like fine silk threads. Reeling from the shock, Brooke had to decide whether to pursue understanding or hold onto her bitterness. The fashion houses readied themselves for combat, but their emotions were at war. Would this terrible rift permanently split the Logan sisters apart, or would they come out stronger? Time would tell, as would the drama playing out in Los Angeles. What Brooke was hearing was unbelievable. The words kept repeating in her head, as though they wouldn't go away. Of all people, Katie had gone beyond what Brooke had never thought she would go. They had supported one another through difficult love triangles, heartbreak, and betrayal for years, always managing to return to sisterhood. However, it seemed different and more intimate this time. Her voice trembled with intense disappointment as well as rage when Brooke eventually confronted her. Katie refused to give up. Rather, she remained steadfast and calmly defended her behavior, which only made Brooke feel more uneasy. It wasn't simply what Katie had done. It was also her apparent conviction that she was correct. Brooke was deeply shaken by that assurance. Old wounds reappeared as the talk became more intense. Each accusation was more pointed than the last as they flew. Brooke reminded Katie of their previous commitment to one another by bringing up the past. Brooke was forced into an awkward pause as Katie responded by bringing up her own past of dubious decisions. The conflict between them had evolved from a single startling action to a reckoning with everything they had concealed over the years. The consequences of Katie's choice exacerbated the situation. Whispers were quickly circulating, and others were already beginning to pick sides. Brooke came to the realization that this was no longer merely a private family matter. Rather, it was rapidly growing into a much larger issue that had the potential to alter all relationships. As the pressure increased, Brooke began to wonder if their relationship could endure. But Katie appeared ready for the consequences. Brooke couldn't help but see the resolve in her gaze. It implied that Katie had given this decision some thinking rather than doing it on the heat of the moment. Brooke found it even more difficult to comprehend that realization. Where did their faith go if Katie had orchestrated this? Brooke's mind was racing with options as she left the confrontation. Was this the point at which she came to terms with the fact that some lines, once crossed, could never be undone? Or should she struggle to mend what was damaged? One question hung in the air while the uncertainty lingered, heavy and unresolved. Has Katie changed everything forever, or is there still a twist that nobody anticipated?